Chapter 115. However, every choice made by Dima seemed to be a decision made after careful consideration. He didn't leave a way out for Zhou Yuniang, so when the two cars were rubbing against each other on the spot, Li Ma directly smashed his own car window and reached out to grab Zhou Yuniang. Seeing that the situation was not good, Zhou Yuniang quickly dodged sideways. She knew that the other party had gone mad and that he was going to kill her right there. Seeing that he couldn't catch Zhou Yuniang, Li Ma changed his tactic. Instead of trying to catch Zhou Yuniang, he grabbed the door frame of the other's car. At this moment, Li Ma gave up driving the car, moved to the passenger seat of his own car, and then held onto Zhou Yuniang's car tightly. His powerful body burst out with infinite strength and actually hooked his own car onto the other's car. When the other turned, he turned. When the other accelerated, he accelerated too. This was gambling with one's life against a D-level opponent. They not only needed extraordinary wisdom, but also had to face the extremely powerful strength of the Zodiac and their crazy ideas. After all, Zhou Yunian was an ordinary person. She tried many ways, but couldn't make Dima's hand let go of the car at all. She could only continue to speed forward with a look of horror on her face. At this time, Zhou Yunian knew that she definitely couldn't brake. If the car stopped, Dima would directly pounce on her car and tear her to pieces. The rules didn't mention anything about killing at all. Thinking of this, she could only continue to accelerate. Since she couldn't compete head-on, she could only rely on speed to win according to the original rules. Fortunately, Zhou Yunian was good at driving. While speeding forward rapidly, she kept crashing her car into the other's car. Since Dima's arm was in the middle of the car, it was soon crushed and mangled between the two vehicles. She had thought that this would force the other party to let go, but she underestimated Dima's determination. Dima hadn't intended to keep this arm from the very beginning. The arm was smashed to pieces, and the yellowish white bones could already be seen. Yet a strange smile appeared on Dima's face. He held onto Zhou Yunian's car tightly and stretched his whole body out of his own car. Zhou Yunian was trembling with fear at the sight of the monster in front of her, but there was nothing she could do about it. Do you really think you can gamble with us? Do you know how much we want to survive here? This was the last sentence that Zhao Nian heard. On the cart traveling at high speed, Li Ma killed Zhou Yunian. This absurd race came to an end in less than 30 seconds after it started. They hadn't even passed the first turn yet, and one of the drivers was already dead, forcing the race to end. Hearing Chu Qiangqiu, you tell the story up to this point, Yan Yao showed a sad expression. She slowly stood up, looked out of the window. Tizhao, do you know what our first reaction was when we saw Zhang Nian die? What was it? Tizhao asked. It was we should change our tactic next time. Yang Yao gave a bitter smile. This place is really terrifying. In cycle after cycle of reincarnation, we have completely lost our awe of death. Chu Yongqiu also spoke up at this time and said, and our teammate Xiao Niyang has never appeared again since that day. After hearing this story, TXIA's mind was a bit confused. This is what you mean by don't gamble with D-level opponents for now, Zhao said. Haven't you killed a single D-level opponent so far? Yes. The two nodded. Then what about the Tian level ones? Zhao asked. Your tactic sounds very imperfect. There are Tian level opponents above the D level ones. If you can't even kill a D level opponent, why did you make this plan? Chu Tiangqiu thought for a while and said, Tizhou, it's been more than 2 years since we came to the land of the end. In these 2 years, we've basically been to every corner of the city, but we've never seen a Tian levels Zodiac. Tizhou frowned slightly and said, do you mean there are no Tian level opponents here? I'm not sure. Chu Tiangqiu said, this is the information we know so far. Tizhou nodded silently. He basically understood it now. No wonder when he saw Zhang Shan in Di's game last time. He didn't choose to gamble with the other party. The Heaven's Gate organization was currently being very cautious and could only choose to fight against Ren level Zodiac. They thought that if they failed in gambling with a D level Zodiac, they would disappear completely from the land of the end. But the actual situation was not like that. Since you two are willing to tell me the confidential information, then I'll also share a piece of information with you. Koyxia's face gradually became serious. This piece of information may overturn your entire plan. What is it? The two looked at Kaizhao in confusion. I've seen Zhou Yuniya, Tizhao said. Zhou Yuniya wasn't eliminated at all. Instead, she's about to become an aboriginal. Tu Tiu was completely unprepared for this situation and was stunned for a moment. Become an aboriginal. Tu Tiu was taken aback. Do you mean become a madman? Oh, is that what you call them here? Good people and mad people. Tizhao nodded. According to what you said, she's indeed a madman, but she's floating between a good person and a mad person, and it seems that there's still hope for her. Yan Yao stepped forward and asked anxiously, "Where is Xiao Nayan? I'm going to find her." Chu Tianhu also nodded and said, "Kaizhou, Yun Yao and Xiao Nayan were very close. If Xiao Nayan is really still in the land of the end, please tell her. The Heaven's Gate will repay you." Kaizhou nodded after hearing this and asked, "Do you have paper and a pen? I'll draw it for you." After hearing this, Yan Yao took out a small fragrant notebook from her bag. "That place is very far from here." Tizhou huffily drew on the notebook. "There's a main road outside here. That main road almost runs through the whole city. Go north along this main road for about 25 to 30 kilometers. There's an old taxi beside a dilapidated black building. Zhou Yunian is there, but that was in the last cycle. I'm not sure if she's still there now." The two took the map drawn by Tizhao in disbelief and looked at it, their expressions changing, because this place was very far from here. It was difficult for ordinary people to reach. Qing Yang, what do you think? Yang Yao asked. "Whether she's there or not, even if there's just a glimmer of hope, we have to send someone to find her." Chu Yang said seriously. "Yan Yao, the cars in the backyard are almost repaired. You take little glasses and Jinyu on XUN and go together. Even if Xiao Nayan is a madman, we must find a way to bring her back." "Okay." Yan Yao changed her usual demeanor, took her bag, and rushed out of the door in a hurry.